Okay, going live. First time streamer here. A little nervous, don't know what to expect, how it's gonna go, but we're gonna try this. As you can see, I'm already on a public house called Normandy SR2 by Codex Rise. I thought it might be fun to see a new home. It's one I haven't toured myself yet. I came across it this morning and thought we could check it out together. So let's have a look, see what it is. Appears to be like a space station of sorts. Pretty empty, but if you look, we can see a tunnel to a ship and some kind of a base here. So let's see if I can manage to shoot myself up the tube here. Hey Nez. Wasn't sure you were there. Hold on. Okay, jump. Jump. Nope. Man, I'm terrible at this. Ooh, made it. Okay. Looks like a little sitting area. And then you got the ship docked. I love how people have made all of these nifty tunnels and stuff with the glass. And when I first came here, this wasn't open, but it looks to be working now. Sometimes these doors and interactive decor are a little tricky sometimes. This is the type of build that I'm not very good at. I'm not very mechanically inclined, so I find these kind of houses interesting. Looks like we can go upstairs. Yay, first time, made it. If I'm not talking loud enough, let me know. I tried my best to test the stream. I took a few recordings beforehand and tried to adjust the volumes of the game and my mic. It's a very sensitive mic, so it picks up cars going by. It did a neighbor's dog barking yesterday. Kind of like a hobo ship. Got beer cans. Let's see, slow down my walking here. Kind of take our time. That's a giant chicken. Feed an army with it. I think that thing's bigger than I am. Thanks, Nez. I appreciate it. Pretty simple kitchen setup. No tables, but I guess it's like a grab and go. Practice dummy. Oh, window. Guess that's the ship engine or hover. I'm not good at describing. Let's see, can we go in back here? No, so up we go. It's one way of getting some spiral stairs into your home using this, I think it's some kind of Chua tower. I love these machines. they need more decor with the Protostar guys on it. Fit very well with what I plan to do with mine, which we'll take a look at mine later. I've just recently created everything. It was a sad moment, but fun too, because I know it's gonna bring opportunities to try new things. Another big piece of meat. Ugh. Naked person. They need to put an outfit on him. My eyes. I guess this is the command center for controlling the ship. This is nicely done. I like the panels here. I think it's a good view too. Just keeps going, doesn't it? Ah, this must be where the little ships can go out. Guess this was like not a ship, but like a station for the ships. Kind of a creepy looking vehicle there. Niftily done. I like the combination of the tubes and the walls. Gives a little different feel than some of the other homes I've come across that are space station related. Let's see, I think we can go down now, back down the tube of death, and see about the building downstairs on the ground. Let's see, how do I get out of here again? Oh. I'm very bad about getting lost. I've come across a few maze homes and this is awful for me because I can hardly ever find what they've got in there because I get lost too easy. Okay, yeah. Again, if I'm going too fast or there's a question about something you see, like if you want to know a piece of decor, what it is, I can maybe tell you what it is. A lot of times people put things together and it's kind of hard to just, identify what they're using. Other times it's funny because, I've seen people use bananas in strange ways, decor-wise, But like here's like a terrarium kind of setup. Lots of interesting plants. Yeah, I came in here earlier to open the door to make sure it was working for me when we went live. I don't want to get locked out of the building. I don't particularly like these retaining walls. I haven't found anything that I put together that actually would look good with those, but I like how other people have found ways for them to look good and have it suit their theme. Thought this might be a openable sewer door, but apparently not. Let's see. Aim it right. There we go. A little creepy down here. I like the lighting. I have no idea what setting that is, but let's see if I'll zoom in a little better so I don't jump because of the low ceiling. Oh, this is such a creepy decor item. It's just disgusting, but I have to do it because that's just a good animation. Can I click into the window? No. Ah, well, maybe I can do this one. There we go. That's nasty. So let's see, can I get in through here? there any more? Doesn't look like it. So that appears to be it. But it's one way you can go with a space theme. Creepy space theme. I don't know, is any of these like actual doors? The Dominion cage decor is very easy to overlook if you're not familiar with that kind of decor. It easily missed sometimes. So you can open a door and go through the cage and you think it's part of one of those walls. Okay, I got one more that I found this morning that I thought was nifty. It's not a full plot design. They've only done it partially. In fact, the main house is only got like the floors and the walls put in. She hasn't really decorated it up yet. Anyway, this one last look at Codex Rise's space station. That's what I'm going to call it. Spaceport, something like that. So let's see, we're going to go to Chian. Lies in Wednesday. Now I won't be showing the main house because, like I said, it's only partially decorated. She's still working on it, but I really like how she's taken a small portion of her plot and kept things compact, but it doesn't feel overcrowded. And the theme she's chosen is really nice. I'm saying she, it could be a guy, but Chian sounds girly to me. Sorry if it's not, but anyway, this is I don't know if you can see the house name, but it's called Beach Box RP. So it's specifically designed for role players to come and chill out at the beach. Got the tiki theme going. Really good mood lighting and heavily grassed and overgrown to give it a cozy feel. And here we go. Here's the beach. You've got really nice custom built pieces here with the seating. It's got even a little drink rack there. And then here's the pool. And I love this because you can actually go through the blue screen. Yes, it's a little distracting with the images that are on it. It would be better suited if it didn't have all of the text and stuff floating on it, but the effect is nice, as if you've gone underwater. I'd hope maybe she might have some fish or like a custom built like clam or something, but still I love how it gives you that feeling of going into the water. True, you can't actually swim around in it, you know, but it's still a nice way to handle the water. I like the enlarged tiki lamps as well. You can really see the detail of the mask features on it. And here we have another pool that you can go into. And that's Oran floor, for anyone wondering how they got the bluish stony ground. Oran wall, actually. Anyway, they got some more seating here. And then over here, carrying on with the beach and tiki, got the life saver thing there. And then this is I would assume the changing rooms for the guests to pop into their swimming suits just skinny dip, I don't know. Again, nice lighting. It's, you know, just the right amount of candles and torches. Well, totem there. And in here is kind of like a cave pool, which I thought was an extra nice little thing. It's all shallow level, so you can just kind of wade around, and it's got some seats in here. So for those that don't want to go deep diving, they can come into the shallow part. Oops. And then we have the entertainment area. She's got a stage set up, nice little spotlight effect going. Come in here and say a speech or sing a song, do some karaoke with your guild. And then we have the snack area. Nicely stocked little kitchen. Always the cheese. This particular item here, I think it's a chalice. I don't know the full name offhand, but it's a chalice as part of it. It typically, when you first put it down, it is upside down originally, and a lot of people seem to leave it like that for some reason. I'm not sure why. Either they just don't know or recognize what it should be, but I like that they've actually turned it right side up, so it looks like a picture. Hey cowboy, thanks for watching. And yes, it is a very cool house. But like I said, it's just a partial plot. She's got like a whole area that she's not even touched. If I was to go past the grass, there would be nothing. But I like how she's used the space very well and given a nice nice little role-playing area for those that want to come to a beach scene. I can show you what I mean here. I'll slip through the grass and you can see what I mean by partial. Just come through here and it's like, I think they've barely used maybe a third, maybe not even that much of the property. But it looks full and nice. And as I say, they've begun work on the house. You know, there is some definition to the rooms and the floors and things, but clearly they're still in the process of setting it up. So I don't know what kind of structure it's going to be, if it's just going to be a personal home or a beach house bungalow, for all I know. But I thought it was a really nice place. It's a different theme. You know, typically you see bars and space ports and just regular homes with you know, your kitchen, your bathroom, and all that. And this is unique, and I like looking for unique housing, because a lot of times when you have an uncommon theme, you have to really think outside the box and how you use items, you know, how you use your lighting. Even the music can become very important on playing along with the theme. Speaking of themes, last week Olivar and Safira put together a housing contest for Jabbit, both on Exile and Dominion side. And I think it was on the Dominion side that there was a carnival house. It was really impressive, and I wanted to show that we have something similar on the Exile side. Kyrian Shadowthorn has put together a type of carnival, and I thought it was a really comical and interesting way of putting together items to represent the gaming booths and such. Let me put myself on walk again. You know, you have your expected Ferris wheel and things, but he's included a lot of custom-built structures and ideas, such as these shooting ranges and things for winning your prizes. You know, give the kids a gun and say, shoot the dummy. He's had this up for a while. I don't know if he's been doing any extra work on it. The last time I checked, in fact, the name of his plot is I never finish anything, and he doesn't even finish the word, but it's kind of an incomplete. There's still a lot of work that he would like to do. Partly the limits is, of course, everyone's big issue is decor limit. A lot of these homes that have a full customized setup above ground, they find themselves hurting a lot on detail and decoration, because you know, you put in a mountain or even a house, and you've got all of the walls dividing the rooms and the floors. All of that adds up, and the more detail you want to add in, like all of the kitchen shelving, and you know, maybe you want a game room, so you put together a pool table or special chairs and couches that you don't want to just use a regular one. You want a special one that has, you know, particular cushion colors and things. All of those little custom built items takes up a lot of your decor count, and that's hurtful for those of us that do full builds like this, because usually we end up feeling like it's not fleshed out as much as we would like, and so we always have that hope that one day, you know, we'll have the an increase in the decor limit and the storage limit. The storage limit is another pressure point for a lot of us, because I hate to let anything go, especially those things that are harder to obtain from like rare drops or whatever, and it can quickly eat up your storage space as well. I like these swings. I don't know what kind of ride this is called, whirligig, twirly thing, octopus ride. I'm clueless on the name of it, but I thought that was a clever use of items and decoration. Keeps a fun feel, and looks like I'd get sick riding on it. I'm very prone to motion sickness, even in a car. I'm not going to bounce on this thing, but this is actually a fab kit. I think it's called the Darkspur Piano, something like that. I've never tried to use it. From what I understand, you can like record notes and have them play back, but I find that a little annoying with the extra sounds. I think this is the foodie spot. Lots of nice little custom built hutches and booths that you can get up in, and you could actually probably, the RPers could utilize this, even have some people come out, serve the guests, and liven the place up. It's awfully quiet here. This looks to be Wakachua, which I think is pretty funny. Too bad we don't have any Chua plushies that he could put in there, but I like the concept. And got another eatery here, some kind of fruit stand, making fruit pies or something. And then this looks to be another target game of some kind. I like I like these little details of putting together. It's got the door on the side and different signs, and you can look inside and see all the kitchen stuff, and I like those kind of details. So when I want to show off a house to you guys or my guild or family, I usually pick these kind of houses because they have so much attention to detail. It's the little things. Little bar. And there's a nice little tower. It's those, the little Chua decor again. Managed to sneak it. Ah, well, almost passed this up. I mentioned to him that he needed a gypsy tent, and this is his fortune teller's booth with her crystal ball. Let's see, somebody gets it here, you know, tell somebody's fortune. Even the candles are floating. That's kind of creepy. Let's see. Do I want to go on the ride for the Ferris wheel or just go up the tower? I think we'll go up the tower. I'm not too good with heights either, and in-game it kind of gives me a little nervous feel, but I can handle it if it's not like moving too much, so we'll just focus on the stairs for now, get up top, and then we'll enjoy the view. Whoops. It's stuck on the stairs. Just keeps going and going. Again, if any of you have questions about anything, doesn't even have to be game related, you're welcome to ask. I've been playing since beta, so guess I've kind of been around a while, but doesn't mean I know everything. There's lots of decor that I've not seen or not tried using. Most of my builds are, I have electronic items in them, but I don't do like what I would call electronic builds. I don't do a lot of mechanical things. Well, like my last build was, I think the most high-tech item I had in it was a lantern. I don't know, I've gone on a binge of just using basic, cheap items. That's another thing. I'm not very good at dungeons. I don't go to them often. I don't do a lot of ship hands. I don't regularly quest like in the daily zones. So I don't accrue a lot of the I would say harder to get items. So I stick with a lot of cheap stuff. If I can get away with using a cheap item that I can just grab from the housing vendor, that's what I go with. Yes, sometimes in certain situations a fancier item might be better, but I tend to keep it cheap just because I'm one of those that likes to change my house design like every few months at least, maybe more often, but like the last build I had, I think I had it for about 2 months before I decided to clear it, and I cleared it day before yesterday, I think it was. And because I change things around a lot and I'm constantly trying new things and tearing bits down and rebuilding in a different way, I find it's easier on my pocketbook if I use the cheap stuff rather than going with the harder to get things or the things that cost like thousands and thousands of renown. Granted, I get renowned a little more easily than plat and everything, but still I like to be able to keep things within my budget, I should say. I like the little book stand. Let's see what's over here. Another little bar eatery thing. He still managed to get his strain plug in there. Ferris wheel is interesting. I wondered if they were going to add more plugs with types of park rides, like a roller coaster would be interesting, or even giving us the pieces to build a roller coaster similar to what they did with the hover park items that they just added with the latest drop that landed yesterday. That's another fun thing. Every time a drop comes out, there's new items, and then you want to try them and see what all you can do with them. You want to twist them and turn them and resize them and flip them and flop them and think, well, I could use that as this or like that. The pains of being a housing addict. I believe this is his movie house, which I thought was nicely done. You see a lot of different versions of this, theaters and stages and stuff. Got the VIP in the back. Personally, for me, I probably would have taken it a step further. Of course, I'm sure he's limited by his decor count, but I would have tried to have designed some kind of a scene, even if it was just a basic trees and mountain kind of thing, or a water or land or something, just something basic. A lot of times you can bypass that by using the pictures, like of the tree and the landscape. Those are handy for setting up a scene for like either a TV. I've seen them used as for like an interior window. If you want to make it look like the window actually can view outside, I've seen those used in behind a window frame, and it gives a clever effect of making it look like you're viewing the outside when you actually aren't, since the interior and the exterior are both zoned differently. It took me a while to figure out how to get up here, because I'm very bad at jumping, but I discovered there is actually a projector room, which I thought was nifty. I like the projector itself. The wheel is huge, but I wish we could have some just regular wheels. I know we have tires, but the wagon wheels without these spikes that the ship's wheel has, I think would really come in handy. They would make a lot of different uses. But he's used it well here, I think. Same with the spotlight as the projector image. But yeah, I wonder sometimes how many people find these little hidden rooms that are a little trickier to get to or to spot. You know, a lot of people might come into the movie house and not even notice that there's actually a room up here. But now they know. Now, if memory serves, part of his incomplete is to do mostly with the inside of his main house, which I always presumed he was going to set up as a haunted house, which I think would fit very well with the theme that he has going on here. But last I checked, I think it was empty. We'll check again just to be sure, but giving you fair warning that it's probably nothing. So have a look. Guess that arrow meant I was supposed to go that way. I just went backwards, went the other way. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything's changed. Just a couple of cobwebs, and I'm pretty sure the upstairs is the same. But again, that gives other people ideas if they want to do a carnival theme or a funhouse type of park or something. It gives them some ideas of the possibilities. You want, you know, the food court and the rides and the games, and of course you could take it even further with some kind of a fun house or spook house. I like the stairs too. I use the pillars instead of regular stairs. Okay, so that's Kyrian Shadowthorn's home. One of my favorites, probably because it was one of the first ones I found while visiting the public homes. I do that very frequently, just about every day in fact. I browse through public homes. I just hop into random people's places and check out what they have, and I make a list of places like this that I find interesting and can refer back to when I have a thought, well, hey, how should I, you know, make a countertop, you know, this could work not just here, this could work in a kitchen, in an office, you know, it's just things that, you know, kind of, you see them use an item in a way that's different than you might think of originally on your own, and it's inspires you to try it differently as well. And I like that about housing. So yeah, let's take a look at mine. Like I said, it's completely wiped from its previous. I don't know if anyone looking is familiar with my previous home. It was a homage to the film Tangled, so it was completely surrounded with rock and had a tower, Rapunzel's tower. But that went all bye-bye. I said, Cradle, it was time for a change. So I'm currently working on a new theme, which is going to be a miniature golf park. I don't know if you can get a good shot of the proto guy up there. It's supposed to be a golf club. It's the best I could come up with at the moment. If I figure out a different way of doing it, I will. But like here, he's got his golf club and ball and a little score sheet that he can use and send that to the guests. I've spent so far probably in total about a couple hours getting what I have currently down, set up. I've changed the walls here like 3 times. I do a lot of, I don't keep track of like coordinates a lot. I just do copy paste and then I move and then I eyeball it. Like, is it close enough? Is there a gap? Do I need to move it this way, that way? And so I'm pretty sure it takes me a lot longer to put something together than other people. But one thing that I do to what I consider my advantage is I do a lot of pre-planning. I've been Googling images of miniature golf parks, images of various ways of how the mini parks have put together their golf holes, you know, with all like the little moving windmills and arms just blocking the hole, and how it looks. I know mine's not going to actually function like you would hope it might, but you know, for somebody that wants to, you know, RP that they're going to a miniature park, golf park, it would give them the scene. It would set the scene for them. What you see here may change. I go through many renditions of certain pieces. I have a vision in my head of what I want, but you know, due to limitations on the type of decor we have available, Some things are limited in how large they can be made or how small they can be made. So maybe I see an item and I think that would work great for this, but then I go to resize it to how I want to use it and it doesn't quite work. So then I have to rethink, okay, well that doesn't work, so I need to find something else. And maybe it's not exactly what I want. I was like, well, if it can't have it like this, then I'll just think of something completely different. So like these windows, I have a little bit, I'm not quite sure I'll leave them like this, but I thought they needed a little bit of decoration. These I will probably leave as they are, because I wanted as much as a clear view of where the actual golf park will go, to be as visible as possible and not a lot of walls blocking everything. The plan here is I'm looking to make this the eatery area. I'm gonna put the counters and the food and everything here along this wall to kind of help hide this blemish here. And along this side and this side, I'm hoping to come up with some nice little parasols and seating arrangement underneath those, so that, you know, families can come out and grab a snack at the snack bar and grab a seat and watch everybody else play in their little miniature golf. The idea here is, of course, the entry, so this would be like where they get their tickets and get their golf clubs and their balls and scorecards. My intention is to actually add one or two more of these Exile military bases as the little check-ins, but I currently only have one. And I'm pretty, as I said before, I'm pretty tight when it comes to money. So I'm waiting, hoping that I'll find some cheap ones on the auction house. Because as far as I know, you can only get these through PvP, and I don't really PvP at all. So there's no chance of me getting it on my own. It'll have to come through some kind of a trade or purchase. So I've got fingers crossed that I'll find some decently priced ones on the auction house that I can get, and thinking maybe at least one or two more. I'm not sure. Maybe one facing this way and another one, and that way you can have two lines of people going through and being able to collect their clubs and their balls, and then they can come into the park. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to set this up. I may do another Protostar guy kind of statue thing with a golf club, or it may be a fountain, sort of like a lobby kind of room, because this is like a seating arrangement here with a little bit of greenery. This area here is going to be mostly just where people will have access to the park. I'm hoping to kind of, I don't want to have a bunch of walls, even glass ones, all over the place, but I'd like it so that it's clearly defined. This is hole 1, this is hole 2, and you move along in the order that's intended, so that you see, you know, okay, I'm going to start here, and this is the hole 1, and you see your little the path where your putting should take place, and then when you're done with that hole, you know that, okay, this is the next one. How I'm going to accomplish that, I'm not exactly sure. I could devise some kind of a way to make numbered flags, maybe, or little numbered panels to identify this is hole 1, hole 2, hole 3, or I could put up like, well, it wouldn't be waist high to me, it'd probably be like head high to me, a little bit of a defined path with either, well, hedges would be great, but we don't have those, so some kind of a wall that wouldn't necessarily hide everything if you've got a view like this, but that, you know, if you're down in the knit and grit of it, then you'll know, okay, this is the path that I take through the park. And of course, you can see I haven't even started on any of the holes. I've practiced a bit on the PTR, just checking out how I want to work it. At first, I thought maybe I would use some of these orange floors, reduced down, and planting them out like a path and using that as the green for the hole. But what I would like to try is to utilize the green of the ground itself and shaping the wall or the path around that to give it a more of a green golf effect. How that's going to work out because of the unevenness of the ground, I don't know. As you can see already, I've had to raise these floors up quite a bit to ensure that, one, due to their size, they don't get stuck and I can place them in the alignment that I want, but also so that there's not like some parts of the little bit of hill here poking through. But you know, that's something I will be working on from here on, and I will be recording or streaming my progress as I go, and see if I can manage to pull it off. It's not something I think is going to be easy in certain ways, and other ways I mean, I can see it in my head how I want it to work. And like I said, I've Googled a ton of images. I've got a lot of references that I've been using to practice on the PTR on how to shape the holes. You know, if I want it straight or I want to slant up, or do I want one that's curved or rounded on the end. But a lot of that will just come as trial and error. That's the biggest teacher for me, is trial and error. You have a plan, but you got to be willing to go with the flow when something isn't working quite like you expect it would or should. To me, that's just a part of the challenge of building like this. Now, this is my idea of hiding my bunker house. It's supposed to be an elevator, if you hadn't recognized what its function is. Of course, you have your little bumpy dots, buttons there, but the bunker house is actually right here. It's just a little visual cue that there's something different there to say, hey, you know, a lot of people might miss it. That was one of the, not problems, but it was a common happening on my previous plots. I have a tendency to hide things like the bunker house door or the entrance to the Rapunzel Tower, and I had a lot of people come in and go, wow, cool, this tower is awesome, and then boop, they were gone, and they didn't see the interior of the tower. They never made it to the top. They never saw the bar down below. And it's unfortunate, but I find it also kind of funny because, you know, people just, it's not that they're unobservant, but they take things at face value. So when you do something like this, like I've done, keep that in mind. There is a chance that people will just not see what you've put together because they think, well, okay, this is an elevator and there's nothing to do here, and okay, we're gone, and they never go down inside. But it's always a big joy when they do, and they're like, oh my gosh, this actually goes to something more, we're not done. Of course, there's absolutely nothing in here yet. I'm playing around with the idea of setting up a subway down here. How I'm going to pull that off, because like I said, I am not mechanically inclined whatsoever, so, and that's to me a very mechanical thing. It's, you know, needs to look slick, and you know, I want to pull it off in a way that it really looks like a subway, or a travel tube, or whatever you want to call it. But that's kind of the idea I'm playing around with for this part. It's a long ways off because I'm going to be focusing on the upper area for the time being. I am collecting pieces that I think might work for the theme that I'm going for, both above and below, but for me, I like to stay focused on one particular area. Right now, for instance, like I said, I haven't touched any of the green part that I plan to make the actual golf park part. I've mostly been just planning out the structure of the building itself first. Likely I won't make it to a full 18-hole park. I'm aiming for 9, mostly because as it is, let's see, I'm currently sitting at 127 of 1,000. Now that's a little deceptive because it sounds like I have tons of decor that I can spend on this, but in reality, putting together, like I said, all the little details, especially the holes themselves, because I plan to make them just like you would expect at a miniature park. I'm thinking I'll have a windmill one, so I'm going to want one that looks like a little windmill and a little miniature with the little hole going in. All of those little details is going to eat up the decor very fast. And just say one hole takes 50 pieces to build, multiply that by however many holes you can manage to squeeze into this area, and that doesn't leave anything for any of the rest that I'm working on. So it's kind of questionable on whether or not I'm going to be able to pull it off like I would like, but I'm going to try. And that's part of it. In fact, you can see I'm already working on trying to assemble something of a sign. It looks like Polo P, but that's eventually going to say Proto Putt Park, PPP. But at the moment I don't have a lot of neon signs, so I've just been experimenting with seeing if I can pull off letter shapes and things. It was convenient that the letter P is already put together. That's the beer sign, the round one. If I pull it out. You can see that that's the beer sign, and it's just a little funky P. I guess this could work as an E if I needed it, but since I don't, it's not necessary. I haven't decided on whether or not I want to hide this. I don't want to box it in completely because whoever does accidentally die, although they shouldn't on this particular plot, I don't want them getting stuck. And of course, I have some kind of funky palm trees. Not sure if I'll leave those like that or not, but I was thinking I might try to make a parking lot and have some actual little vehicles out here, but again, getting too creative and full of detail like that to really pull it off nicely, that'll eat up the decor count, so I have to weigh, well, do I want a lot of detail out here, or do I want to focus mostly on the putt-putt park itself? And I think the important part will be the park, the golf holes themselves. That's why I've mostly just kind of given a rough structure here, and as soon as I've settled on how I'm going to wall this in and everything, then I'll start working on the golf holes themselves, and hope for the best, I guess. Pardon me. I'm not quite sure if I like how this is boxed off. This is mostly because the way I created the elevator room, there's actually a lot of parts sticking out from the side and on the top and on this side. And I needed some way to cover it up, but not have it look like I had to cover it up. I wanted it to look, like it was purposeful, that this is supposed to be there. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to make with it. It is hollow in here, so I could close the back part off here to hide the stair pattern and make a little storage room and just add a door. It's one idea. I could just leave it solid and, you know, hang pictures or a lamp, you know, a lamp here or something. This could become a little, I don't know what. I like I said, I'm still in the early stages of mapping this out. But I'm looking forward to seeing how it comes. A lot of what you see here, like I said, could change. I'm very fickle when it comes to positioning and how things look. You know, now that we have the newly added, for instance, let me see, like here, I needed some triangle pieces to fill in the roofing. Well, at the moment, it's the granite version, but that was the day before we got the drop, the recent drop. So with the recent drop, they've added in a lot of new triangle pieces, and so I may end up changing these out to better match the Drake and floor image motif. Or I may end up changing that whole motif. Maybe I don't like the rocks, maybe I want something smoother. I definitely didn't want to go with tulle because that just looks like patchwork to me. At least this looks a little sleek, sort of. But it's just a lot of guesswork and willingness to change it if you don't like how it turns out. Like these letters, for instance, I'm really not sure I like. I may just leave the P's as the glowy parts and then use wooden 2x4s or something to spell the rest of it out, to make it more uniform, because you got the green and then you got the yellow and then you got the blue, and it's just kind of, I'm not sure, it might look too cartoony and too mismatched to really look nice. So at least it would be, you know, lit up with the P's and then the rest a uniform. What I'd really love is if Carbine added some letter and numerical decor that we could use for, like, if we want to put addresses on our homes, like this is house 411, or I've seen others that's, you know, used the 2x4s as lettering for like the IKEA store that was on one of the streams not long ago. It would just make it easier, because for one, the brown of the 2x4s blends in with a lot of the decors, and I'm not even sure if it will show up nicely on this color. So if it doesn't, then I may rethink, well, do I want to use a different wall so that it shows up better, or I don't know, find something else that's flat and sort of usable for straight shapes that I can form into letters. But that would be good for like a optometrist. Looks like a pair of glasses. So yeah, I'm just kind of gonna wing it, see how it goes. We'll see if I can do some of the things I would like the parasols for the eatery. I envision using the triangle pieces. Let's see, do I have any? Yeah, I got some wall pieces that I could practice with. Again, I'm not good with like doing the calculating, okay, I did this at 45 degrees, so this one needs to be at 30 something and that one needs to be at 60 something, and I kind of get really confused easily by that. So I don't know how easy it'll be for me to figure that out to make it look like it was one piece. But I figured there must be some way to like maybe put the triangle pieces together in a way that looks like an umbrella kind of effect. I know we have lots of like little tarp decor pieces, but most of those have those sticks pointing every which way, and let's see, I guess we want to aim that a little different. So see, I'm just eyeballing and kind of doing a lot of guesswork, just playing around with it, and for me that's the best way for me to work. I kind of give myself plenty of leeway as far as coming up with an idea and trying to see it through to actually see if it'll work. I don't know, it's just awkward for me to can't figure out how to turn this thing like I want. Anyway, as I do it and fiddle with it, then I'll finally figure out something that looks, hey, well that works, and then I'll try to replicate it. So like, see, I might be able to put something together with, you know, 6 pieces all in a circle, kind of leaning, pointing, but maybe I'll have to find something for just the very tip top to kind of give it a topper. And then of course, need to be a little smaller and a little higher up. And put it on a pole. Then I'll have to decide what kind of benches to use and things like that. Now, one of the resources I love, and I'm sad at the same time because they don't update it anymore, is Living in WildStar, I think is the name of it. And it is an absolute heaven send for me because it has previews, images of a lot of the items, by far not all of them, but a good many of the cheapy ones that I use. So I find it very helpful in when I'm coming up with, okay, what can I use as a pole for this? Maybe I don't want to resort to using one of the pillars. Maybe I want some decoration on it, so then I'll find out that there's a Draken training pillar or something, but I don't know exactly what it looks like, so I want to check it out. And sometimes I get lucky and the site has them, and it's a big help in picking out things ahead of time without buying or grinding or, you know, going and hunting for them at vendors or trying to get them to drop in some other way. So that's a real big help. Another big help is, like I said, touring other people's homes. I love doing that, not only because I enjoy looking at what other people have built, but I use them as another way of seeing all of the items, because I haven't used everything. You know, I haven't even owned everything, much less used it. So like with aquariums, you see a lot of people will build aquariums using like the fire extinguisher, and that works really well because it has bubbles that comes out of it, and if placed right and decorated in really well, it pulls it off really nicely, and it looks like, you know, an aquarium. But I've seen other people use other decor that I would have never thought or I didn't even know existed, and you know, sometimes I can find out from the home's owner what the name of the item is, but oftentimes I end up using like sites like Jabbit-EU or Living in WildStar There's also a few people that have done short little videos to preview the items. Those sites are extremely helpful in window shopping, I guess is the best term, before you go out and think, oh well, this item is definitely going to work, and that's gonna, and you buy a bunch of them, and then you find out, whoa, that's not what I need at all. It doesn't fit. It doesn't size right. You get a better idea of the kind of decor you might want to invest in, or to go out and get a hold of in some way or other. But it's like I wish these came longer, so I didn't have these lines, or at least they didn't have the lines where I didn't want them. It just looks funny. But so yeah, I think that's about it for today. I just wanted to get a feel for how the live stream kind of thing worked. This is my first time doing this, so I wasn't quite sure what exactly it all entailed. It took me a few days to get everything set up as far as how to get the video to work, and how to set up the sound, which I hope was good. It also took a while to find, I read a lot of like tips and tricks and things like that, and a lot of it was like over my head. I have no idea what they're talking about. All these add-ons and all this high-tech equipment with headsets and keyboards and like triple screens and stuff. I do have a double screen, so it does make it easier a little bit, because I can keep the chat open, and then I can do the stream on the other side. But so I just wanted to kind of keep it lengthy but short. I figured an hour broadcast time was good for a first run. I hoped to do this every week, every Wednesday, 1 p.m. GMT, plus 2, I guess it is. 1 p.m. CET is I guess the more accurate. I get the GMT, CET, PST times all screwed up. So it's I'm in Belgium, so it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon for me. That's when I'll be trying to air. I may decide to stream on other days at other times, but I'm not going to make that a formal part of my schedule. I'm just going to keep Wednesdays in the afternoon as my primary goal. The other will be just if and when I feel like it. And if you happen to tune in, great. If not, it's going to be recorded, and I'm going to be moving them all to the YouTube channel for those that miss it and want to see it and catch up. I welcome questions of any sort. Specifically, housing is great. If I do the PvE, I do a bit of raiding. I play a stalker, but I'm not really good or confident in, I should say, answering questions to do with that kind of gameplay per se, because that's not a focus for me. Housing is my end game in a way, so I primarily am involved in what goes on in the housing world. So if you have questions about how I pick themes, or if there's a house specific that you want me to take a tour of, just make sure it's public. I try to stick with just public housing, because I want to find homes that are open to anybody. I have a lot of neighbors that have private houses that have wonderful builds, but I probably will choose not to showcase any of those, because it's one thing to see it in a video or in screenshots, but it's a totally different experience to see it live in person. So any of the homes that I showcase on here will always, at that time at least, be public, and I will mention the names, and that will give folks that are able, specifically Exile Jabbit, a chance to go and see them for themselves, because I'm sure there will be things that I miss, and like I said, it's just a totally different experience on seeing it in person. And I hope to encourage folks to check out these homes, because it feels a waste to have someone put so much time and effort into a home or a build and to have little to no attention given to it. We do have the forums, the WildStar forums, and there are a good many players that post screenshots and videos of their houses, myself included. But for every one of us that show off our place, there's probably multitudes more that don't, either because they don't know how, or they're too shy, or they just, they just assume that if their house is public, people will come. But the public search tool is kind of, I don't know, I find it awkward, because you can like hit the refresh and it feels like it brings up the same names over and over and over and over, and there are more than just those 20 people playing, and there's more than just 20 people that have their homes public. And occasionally when you refresh it, you'll see like a whole list of new names, and it's like, wow, where did these come from? They just suddenly popped. And it's like, I don't know, it's an algorithm or something that brings up a certain string of names. Maybe they all start with K, or they all have a dash in their name. I don't know what it is that causes it to pull it up, but I find that a lot of people that I've talked with, they tend not to bother visiting public homes, because so many of them that are public, that do show up on the list frequently, are empty. Or it looks like they're having a garage sale, or the house vomited onto the lawn. It's just things thrown willy-nilly. You don't know what to make sense of it. So I'm one of those that I have a lot of time on my hands, clearly, and I spend a lot of my free time in-game just going house to house to house to house, and I find these really nifty homes like Chian Wednesdays, and like Codex Rises, and like Curian Shadowthorns. I find those homes and I write them down and I post them on a list. I have a list in the main forums, and I have one for my guild as well. And I encourage people to visit them, and I try to make it as easy as possible by providing them the name. I even put them in categories to encourage people to get out and see what wonderful things people can make with stuff. For one person, it's like, oh, this is a chunky wall, it has no character, it's ugly, it's gray, it's flat, and someone else can make something completely awesome with it. Like one of the things I do, again, to promote housing is, for my guild, I do a monthly custom decor challenge. I give them a theme every month, and I say, hey, can you make this? And I give them an entire month to build it, and I've never been disappointed. They always come up with some extraordinary builds. It's crazy, some of the things they put together. The last one, I had them put together vehicles, land-based vehicles, and no two were alike, of course. I think even if they had all built just a regular little traditional car, none of them would have been the same. But they went above and beyond that. We had a carriage and a fire truck and a rocket-powered unicycle. It was just nuts, the kind of things that they could come up with. And it's those kind of little detailed items and the full builds that I come across in the housing through the public tool that just enthralls me and encourages me to stretch my limits, to test, well, yeah, I could build a house. I've seen lots of people with custom houses, but for me, why do that when I can try something else, So this theme is going to be a miniature golf park. A few months from now, who knows? But for now, this is what we're going to work on, and we'll see how it goes. As far as any of the names or the places that I visit, there's a section on my Twitch channel page for resources. There's a bunch of links there, including the Living in WildStar website that you can check out at any time. And I encourage you to, if you have any kind of interest in working with housing and working with the decor and trying out the tools and doing something a little more than just bed goes here, table goes there. I really encourage you to give it a try, because WildStar has lots and lots to offer. The combat, the adventures, the shiphands, the dungeons, the raids, the questing. But for someone like me, and I'm sure I'm not by far the only one, housing just is a whole nother dimension on its own. It's a creative outlet that I will probably enjoy for years and years to come. And I hope that this this live streaming that I'm planning to do each week will, encourage others to join in, to show them that, it doesn't have to be just the basic, anything you can imagine is possible if you just, give it a shot. So thank you for coming to watch, and I appreciate your time, and hope that you will join me again sometime. And until then, happy housing. Bye.